Hey there, everyone. It's Blair here at Time Trades. Thanks for joining me again this weekend. So I wanted to share with you how I'm interpreting Time Trades forecasts for the coming few weeks. We've got Bitcoin up right now. The way I've got the chart configured is I'm showing 24 lines, so I'll just show those right now. So under Wheel of 24, we've got the 24 lines up at $7,200 per lap of the price wheel. And under settings, we've got GAN waves turned on and we've got short-term waves turned on. All right, so very interesting week this week. We're starting to see, I guess, a broader recognition of the bearish inflection point that we've been talking about for starting with last week. So I'll show you what where that started and how I think this is going to resolve based on what we're seeing in time trades right now. Okay, so this latest trend, and this is a lot more evident on the QQQs and stocks, really sort of started with the short-term wave blue line crossing zero here. Now remember, short-term wave, this has nothing to do with price, okay? But what you want to look at is the relationship between the waves, because they do tend to indicate very reliably the beginning and the end of trends. So we've got light blue up here that made a high, dark blue cross zero. So this is kind of the configuration that we're locked in now through to, roughly this week, the week of July 25th through August 1. And that also lines up with this forecast low that Time Trades is forecasting here. But there's another thing that I also want to point out is there's a little bit of interesting astrology that's happening July 24th that is not part of the Time Trades model, and that is Saturn, transiting Saturn will be conjunct Bitcoin's nodes. So the natal nodes of Bitcoin will be conjunct Saturn on July 24th. So that's already within orb. So that is expected to be a negative event. So I'm just going to put a little circle here roughly around July 24th, kind of where I expect that to happen. And my expectation going in here, of course, is always to follow price. Price is the boss, but from a timing perspective, we're coming into the end of this black period here where we tend to see a lot of bottoming tails. I expect that to happen again, like the last 1, 2, 3 black periods, with the exception of the most recent one, have all had fairly significant bottoming tail on the daily wicks, on the daily candles. So expecting that to happen again. The next 24 line below 36,000 is at 28,800. Since we're more than halfway between 36 and 28.8, I expect price to maybe extend a bottoming tail on a flush down one day to the 28.8 area. And then it should find some support like it did on these other days here. And also I'm looking for possibly a little bear market rally that's indicated here by Time Trades after this Saturn conjunct nodes event on the 24th. So once that's over, then we're seeing evidence of potential little rally here up to July 27th. So I have no intention to hold any shorts through this period. I'll be looking to close shorts on that spike lower in the next few days, possibly even the day of July 24th. Once we get to this high up here on July 27th, I don't know at what price this will be at. It could bounce all the way back up to 36. There's an outside chance it goes all the way to 43, okay? Who knows? but I just want to be prepared for that bounce. And it looks like there's going to be likely another wave down here bottoming August 2nd. That could be a lower low or it could be a higher low. So we just need to take it from one decision to the next. The time trades framework here provides a good way to anticipate what may happen, but I encourage you to always trade with price and volume as well, because that really is what is happening in reality. So we can't get over rotated on our expectations for the future and ignore reality of what's happening in the here and now. So that's the interpretation of the Bitcoin chart. I do want to also take a quick look at something else here. So let's take a look at the juice indicator. We haven't looked at that in a while. So here's a juice indicator. And what this is showing here is after a period of relatively low energy, remember, juice is a leading indicator of solar events. Okay, so that's really what this is predicting here. So when you see a spike in the juice indicator, it's typically a leading indicator of solar events. So we should see an increase in solar events that leads up to this forecast July 27th high from the juice. Another reason to be careful with shorts and not get married to them during this time period, because it's possible there could be one of those very violent short covering rallies coming up. So very much be aware of that. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about today is I want to take a look at the Qs. So let's go over to QQQ. All right, and again, we're going to turn off juice and we're going to turn on short-term waves, and I'll give my interpretation of what's going on here in time trades. Okay, so again, interestingly, it looks like there's been a broader recognition of the bearish nature of the market. Now we could kind of see this coming with the change in direction of the light blue short-term wave and the dark blue short-term wave crossing zero. Okay, but it took a few days for that to really get some traction. Then near the end of the week, we finally started to see some rare red candles on the QQQs. So we are set up for at least a minor correction here. Again, the question of when is this going to end? I'm looking for a change in this configuration of the short-term waves, and we don't really see that configuration changing until this time frame here. So this is really the black period between July 26th and August 2nd, and that's when we see probability of a low in time trades. So one of the things that I was looking at historically is what happens during these purple periods in the Gann waves. They tend to be sort of flat / continuation periods. Sometimes there's reversals, but it's not common. Like the most recent purple period here, definitely continuation. Momentum slowed a little bit, but then it blasted right up. Over here in May, this purple period was kind of a pause in the uptrend that turned into a minor correction before the uptrend launched again. This purple period here was a reversal. But one of the things that you see here is this reversal happened shortly after both light blue and dark blue crossed zero. Okay, so that's I don't attribute this reversal in price to the purple period at all. I interpret that reversal in price to this double crossing of zero by both light blue and black blue, and you can see we've had a similar change in direction. So I think this this trend is going to accelerate. In fact, you can see here what happened in about 5-10 bars after this change in direction of light blue and dark blue is the downtrend really kind of accelerated, and it took a yellow period to reverse it. So that's kind of what I'm expecting here on the QQQs as well, is a continuation of this downtrend through the next black period on the week of July 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, around there. And then as the yellow period kicks in, just as the dark blue short-term wave bottoms here, that's when I expect to see more of a change in trend. Okay, so that's the macro view of how I'm interpreting the time trades forecast here. Again, by all means, please combine this with price and volume analysis as well. And I want to close off today's call with a quick review of what we're seeing, or a new feature that I added to time trades that improves the TradingView export. So let's go and take a look at Boeing, BA. All right, now we're going to go over to influencers here first, and we're going to take a look at something interesting that I found in Boeing. That here's the section of influencers around pivot highs. Okay, when you scan through when the moon enters certain signs, you can notice right away that the weight for Virgo is almost double pretty much every other sign. So moon entering Virgo has a very high influence over pivot highs at Boeing. Okay, scroll down a little bit more. Let's see what happens here with pivot lows. No, I don't see a big influence there. Up days, Virgo, holy moly, 0.39. Again, basically double what we see in a lot of the others. Moon entering Aries as well, huge influence. So how do you take advantage of this on a short-term basis? Well, this is where the TradingView Export comes in, okay? So we can go to the TradingView Export, and I recently upgraded this week to include 3 lunar cycles and not just 1. So when you click on the lightning bolt, it takes a few seconds just to generate the script, and now the script is generated. You can go over to TradingView, and here's our TradingView, and I'll just walk through the steps to recreate those scripts here. So I'm going to remove the old one. Okay. And when you're in TradingView, you can click in the bottom right here. It says Show, and then it pops up something called the Pine Editor. This is the scripting language that's used in TradingView. Now you don't have to learn how to write this stuff because Time Trades has done it for you. So you can open a new blank indicator, and then hit Control A or Command A on a Mac, and then Control V to paste what was pasted into the clipboard from Time Trades. And now we've got our new script here, okay? So this script will put little lines on your chart when those high influence lunar transiting events happen. So we can save this, and I'm going to call it BA lunar transiting aspects. Yes, I want to replace it. And then we can just add it to the chart. And this feature has always been there, but what's improved now is there's 3 times the data being included into TradingView now. So we're getting 3 full lunar cycles instead of just 1. So the advantage of that is that you get to see, go back in time and see a full lunar cycle of history. You can see the start of a new lunar cycle with the moon at 0 degrees Aries. And we can see here that this is the #1 influencer over both up days and down days for Boeing. And we can also scroll back and to see the lunar cycle before that, which is also super useful because we can see how well this is mapped to reality. And we can see here, this is moon entering Virgo. This lines up with both up days and pivot highs. So we know there tends to be important moves on this day, in which in this case, it looks like it was closer to a pivot high than that it was an up day. All right, so that came in at 1:30. So it looks like that actual aspect hit overnight. And then it opened, so this is all UTC time. So with UTC time, the markets open at 1:30 UTC time. So this number 2 in up days, number 1 in pivot highs applies to the 16th, okay? The 16th of June. And we can see here, a bit of a pivot high, but then after that, it flushes down into a mostly down day. So that is very useful information going into this day. And you can use the other lunar transiting aspects and their relative influence by just mousing over them, taking a look at the tooltip. We can see here that for this specific one, moon sextile 60 degrees transiting Mercury. That means that the moon is 60 degrees offset from Mercury. This is the number 2 influencer over pivot highs. And that would have applied to all of the 15th here. So it looks like we got a good pivot high right near the end of the day. So I wanted to just give a little refresher of this feature of time trades and point out the fact that it's now more powerful than ever. The third full lunar cycle occurs in the future. And if we scroll out, we can see that third cycle starting here at the thick yellow line with the moon at 0 degrees Aries. Okay, so that's it from me. I hope you all have had a great weekend. Take care, good luck, trade safe, and we'll talk to you again next week. Bye now.